Ole Miss, Alabama, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central kick on CBS. Our crew will be there. We won't. I won't be there, but our CBS crew will be there. Bama's a favorite. Favored by 7. It is a tense vibe around Tuscaloosa right now. Jalen Milroe is going to start. I don't think that was all that difficult to see coming, although I got some pushback Sunday night when I said, no, he's going to start this Saturday. Like, who in the world that watched the South Florida game would doubt that? Ole Miss, they're Ole Miss. Loose as can be. They'll come in there. Lane Kiffin could lose by 50 or win by 50. He just keep talking the next time they play, because that's Lane Kiffin. He is 0-4 against Nick Saban. They had the 12-10 game another generation ago when he was at Tennessee. 30-24, 42-21, 63-48. Those are the 3 final scores. As long as he's been the head coach at Ole Miss and Saban's been the head coach at Bama. Not surprisingly, I think Alabama's offensive line is the most important unit in this game. It's been the most crushingly disappointing unit in America to me this year. And here's what I mean by that. Paper pop stat. Bama has the worst sack rate allowed in Power 5. All the teams. And the team in Tuscaloosa is the worst one. This could go down as the single worst prediction and worst expectation level I ever had for a position unit in history. I digress. Ole Miss, by the way, so let me not just gloss over this. Bama has the worst sack rate allowed in Power 5. Poverty offensive line right now. Ole Miss has 10 sacks through 3 games. Well, there's the red light emoji going off. We continue. I think the approach by Alabama in this game with Milroe starting will actually be what it should have been against Texas, and that is a game plan that utilizes his strengths. Look, I know you guys doubt this right now. I still think they can be a half-decent offense. If the game is called right with the right guy at quarterback, don't think we're going to rewrite the record books there, but they can be fine. They can be more than fine offensively, especially with the way they play defense, which is what's crazy. They have looked awful. The last game they played, I told you, I thought it was the worst I've ever seen them look. They can still win every game they play. They still can. It just seems so far out of reach, but really, it's like fractions of degrees of change. It's like when you move a ship's rudder. It's not all that much. It's just that you learn how small the margins are in this sport, and you learn how being a little bit off here or a little bit off there, you can go from winning a national championship to struggling to pull away from South Florida, and point spreads tell you that's not the way it works. Xbox tells you that's not the way it works. Your buddy at the barbecue joint Tuesday afternoon tells you that's not the way it works. That's the way it works. That's just the way it works. Runs, quarterback runs included, rollouts, occasional deep shots. That's the game plan offensively for Alabama. And it doesn't really matter if they know it's coming, if you do it right. The wrench that Ole Miss can throw in this thing, and they're fully capable of doing it, is grabbing an early lead. And if you doubt it, remember what Quinn Ewers did. Quinn Ewers popped him over the top. He popped Alabama over the top several times. Jackson Dart, 12.5 yards per attempt this year. That's right up there near the top of college football. So they can hit the explosive play through the air. Interested to see who can and can't go for Ole Miss at wide receiver. Keep checking that throughout the week. There are 2 paths for Alabama. 2 paths remain. And the 2 paths for Alabama right now are they can elevate or they can evaporate. Because I need to tell you, this is going to be a very competitive game. Ole Miss could win this game outright. And do you understand what that means? Do you understand what happens if Alabama loses? If Alabama's a 2-loss team on what, September 22nd or 23rd? Dude, it's not October yet, and they got 2 losses? That's never happened. That doesn't happen. For all intents and purposes, they're out of it. I know mathematically they're not. But, dude, if Ole Miss goes in there and beats them, it will be because the same problems persisted. They're going to have multiple additional losses if they're not drastically improved. You've never seen that climate around that program. This isn't a program that knows how to lose, and that's a compliment. It's a testament to them. So you can either elevate, and if they elevate, man, like I'll be right back all in because I picked them to win the title, so I got no other choice here. Like I am Leo DiCaprio on the top of the ship as it's going down, and I'm telling Kate Winslet, all right, When I say hold your breath, breathe as deep as you can and hold your breath. Right now, we're underwater. Okay, we're being sucked down. But we're kicking, we're paddling, we're trying to get to the surface. We just need a gasp of air. Tommy Reese, please give us a gasp of air. Colin, show me what the model thinks. It sounds like I'm rooting against Ole Miss only because I'm trying to juke some folks in the ribs who were having fun with me the other night telling me I hate the program. Because naturally, I grew up in Harris County, Georgia. So, of course, I hate Ole Miss. It's that natural west central Georgia, northern Mississippi rivalry. Tale as old as time there. I don't hate Ole Miss. Let's see what the model thinks. The Vegas number is Bama -7. The model, believe it or not, leans Alabama. There is none of my bias built in there, I can assure you. The model does lean Bama because it is, once again, the same way it is with Ohio State, trying to see around the corner a little bit. I think it makes sense that we see an inspired performance from Bama Saturday. I think it makes sense that if I'm right about that team and the chemistry or lack thereof when they didn't get the quarterback they wanted, if they do get Jalen Milroe, that's Nick Saban basically saying, all right, you want this dude? Here he is again. It didn't work out the first time. Show me what you got. Now, any competitor worth his or her salt will respond Saturday. And if Alabama responds, Alabama should win. Alabama should cover. I'm actually going to take him to do it. I have no confidence in this whatsoever. So I'm following the model because I don't know any other thing to do. So I will take Alabama to win. I'll take them to cover. Kids, I cannot stress enough. There's so many better things you can do with your money than bet it on this game. And so Uncle Josh does not advise you to do that. But as I said, I'm on the ship for better or for worse. And if it's going down, I'm still on the ship. I'm going to take Bama to win, Bama to cover. And one way or the other, this is a lead topic for Sunday night. Because either they've rectified things, and in that case, it could be off to the races, or they haven't. And, oh boy, find your nearest tombstone and just start etching. Same way with Clemson. Two teams that were running this sport 5 or 6 years ago, and it looked like there was no end in sight. My goodness, how times potentially could have changed.